to reproduce the most iconic and overplayed Christmas song of all Christmas songs. But you know what song I'm talking about, right? Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. You know, all I want for Christmas is for you to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, I want to mention a couple things before we get started. We're doing this in Ableton Live. Everything is pretty much stock sounds. Everything that you're gonna hear in this song, it's all MIDI. And also, I did everything by ear, not playing the exact notes, but it sounds close enough to me. Dive right into Ableton and see what we are working with. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this song down by sections and not necessarily instruments because it's a little more complicated to do it by instrument. Okay, here's the entire song. The instruments that you're gonna need for this song is obviously a piano. You're gonna need a bass guitar, drums, bells, and a string and brass ensemble. I have brass, woodwind, cello, string, but you just really only need string and brass. As you can see here, I have an intro, a first verse, and then a chorus section, and that's all we're gonna do. And when I say intro, I don't mean the intro, I mean when the piano comes in and does a that part. Okay, so let's break it down. What you're gonna need in that intro is a piano, and then we also have some percussion elements coming in. We have the jingle bells, and then we have some other elements coming in, and we're gonna ignore this string section for now. First, we're gonna start with the bells. Now, there's that iconic sleigh bell that you're hearing, and then there's also a hat playing, but they're panned to the opposite sides. Why do I not have my headphones on? Let me put my headphones on so I can actually hear what I'm playing. Okay, we have a sleigh bell, and then we have a hat playing. So they're playing on the quarter note. And then coming in right before the chorus, we have a tom. I have 3 toms. And then we have a snare. We have an acoustic kind of tight snare. And then we have a reverb snare. Okay, so if I'm playing all of these together, this is what that intro is gonna sound like. Okay, on top of that, all we have left to do is add in our piano. One thing I want to mention here, we are at 150 BPM. This song is actually in 12/8 time, I think, but I made it in 4/4 time. I have a problem when I make covers, I don't actually check the time signature, so we're doing it in 4/4. The only difference between this and 12/8 is we're gonna use the triplet grid. So I have that on right now, and let me just change to 1/16 so you can see. So we have a kind of swing groove going on. Here are the piano chords, and then we have, right before the intro, we have these pianos playing the same rhythm as the snares on a D octave. Additionally, we have this little piano glide here. I'll play that real quick. Just like that. This, I just had my MIDI keyboard and I just did that, then just typed in the rest of the notes. If you are typing this in, just make sure to skip the black keys because it's not a chromatic glide. I started on a D and ended on a D. Let's go ahead and hear how that intro sounds. Sounds pretty close. Right before the intro, when we're playing that snare, this part, we need to bring in all the other instruments. Like I mentioned, I have a string ensemble, so I'm going to go ahead and go through all of these instruments I have so we can bring them in. I have a violin section here, and then I have a string ensemble, a cello section, 2 alto sax, a brass ensemble, and a woodwind. These are all the strings I have. Again, you only need brass and strings. This is how it sounds. Another thing is that they're not playing the exact same octaves. Different notes, different octaves, depending on your range of that instrument. Going into the first verse, we have a little bit of chord progression change up. So this piano is the basis of our chord progression. And here are these MIDI notes. And what I'm gonna do is link all of my MIDI files in the description so you can just download them and use that. But feel free to just copy in what you're seeing here. Like I mentioned, we have a triplet kind of swing. Let's go ahead and see how that sounds. So that's basically what it sounds like. And then all I did was take these chords and copied them to the string section. The chord progression is the same, but as you can see, I just have the strings playing different notes to add body to the song. Again, I'm guessing on these notes just based off what I heard. Just make sure you're keeping that instrument in the range it's supposed to be in. Together, it sounds like... One thing that you probably should do if you want to make this more realistic is automate the volume on here. I didn't do any of that. The only thing I did was randomize the velocity here. Make sure you do that on every single instrument to make it sound more realistic. The next thing that we want to bring in is that guitar bass. And again, like I mentioned, these are all Ableton stock presets. This is the only one that I didn't get off Ableton. I don't like the bass stock sound in Ableton, so instead I just found a sample. This is the notes that it's playing. Let's just play it. And it keeps going. Anyway, so that's the bass. Let's go ahead and listen to how that sounds. So that's how everything sounds together. Pretty basic. Two more things that we need to add into the first verse. The first is, obviously, we have to add drums. Here is my drum rack. These drums are very acoustic. So we have a kick. I just found this sample. The kick drum is very subtle. And then we have a snare. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we have our acoustic snare, and then we have our reverb snare. We also have a clap. So the clap is on every snare hit, but the reverb snare is on every other snare hit. I'll show you what I mean right here. The last thing that we're gonna add into this verse is this tubular bell. It's coming in on the 5th bar, so let's play this first verse. And there you go. That's it. That's all we do. Everything I showed you, it just repeats itself. And then before we get into the chorus, we have a little drum thing going on here. So we have some more toms. So if you listen here, we're going into the chorus now. Now we have a chord progression change up. This is the piano chord progression. We're still in that triplet group. And then all I did again, copied those chords down to our strings. So here's that chord progression again. Drums are the same, bells are the same. We have another crash. And then our bass guitar is also changing a little bit. Here's the bass guitar and piano, but we're gonna play everything together. So this is everything together that we've looked at so far. And here are the strings playing. Here's that chord progression. Same thing as the piano. So the only other thing that we're adding in here is some more tubular bell sounds and a glockenspiel, basically. It sounds like a music box. And then a violin section again. This is different from our string section. I have the violin section panned out to the right and the glockenspiel panned out to the left, and they're basically just playing the melody. And I'm gonna play that with these tubular bells. Kill two stones with one bird. I say it that way. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's literally the whole song. Then we go back into that intro section again. Here's the piano and bass playing back in that intro. We're adding in the bass again. And we start over again. The bass notes that you hear playing, that's basically what we're gonna be also playing in the string section. Let's go ahead and play that string section again. That is the entire song. Again, I'll link the MIDI files below. Am I gonna try to sing this? I don't know. Am I Mariah Carey? No. What you heard in the beginning when I was singing that note was not me. That was Mariah Carey. Believe it or not. It's crazy. Here, I'll just sing it for you right now. Let me look up the lyrics. All I want for Christmas. Justin Bieber sing this? I didn't warm up, but I'll sing it for you. Let's just sing the chorus.
I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. Till I can
That's about as high as I can go. I can't go higher.